in a game this week, guys, that a lot of people, didn't necessarily know what this Oklahoma team was about, and what would be. Is this the team that we saw over the first, 3 games of the season? Not great, not obviously not great opponents, but I think a lot of people, locally and nationally came away, pleasantly surprised, happy with the way that Oklahoma played, on both sides of the ball, but particularly defensively, against Nebraska in the first couple of games. And then last week, you could take certain things away from that K-State game. Oklahoma always struggles against Kansas State. Oklahoma, maybe having a little rat poison in their veins after that Nebraska win. Didn't play awful, but they couldn't get off the field on third down, 3rd and 16. Late in the game, they couldn't get a stop, and then, but they were. I think a lot of people had a lot of respect for Kansas State's defense, and Oklahoma was able to put up 34 points in that game. Just felt like they needed to get the defense back in order, obviously. And so, coming into this game today, was this the Oklahoma team that we saw the first 3 weeks of the season, or the Oklahoma team of last week? And to be honest, it was. I think it was neither. It was a team that played much, much worse than I think any of us watching this game could have ever imagined against a TCU team that was that is okay. They're probably a middle of the pack Big 12 team this year, maybe upper half, but I don't think anyone expected the performance that we got from Oklahoma today. One of the worst performances this team has had, debatable, but one of the worst performances a singular team has had in a couple of decades for Oklahoma. Just really getting pushed around on both sides of the ball. Defensively, we'll get into that. Offensively, at the beginning of the game, we saw some things that is continuously plagued this team. Particularly over the last couple of games. Started kind of with Nebraska a little bit, and then was a little bit more prevalent against Kansas State, and then continued to happen with Dillon Gabriel continuously overthrowing open receivers. And then obviously the injury, the head injury, which I would, nothing has been confirmed, obviously, with everything that happened with Tua, and just the way people handle concussions, I would be a little bit surprised to see him back for Red River next week. But be that as it may, the performance and then just the injuries on top of it. Marcus Major wasn't able to play today. You got Dillon Gabriel that went out with a head injury. You've got Eric Gray that went out in the third quarter at some point with a leg injury. You got Theo Weiss that went out, which looked like his wasn't quite as bad. You had numerous offensive linemen getting banged up in this game. Whether it be Andrew Rame limped out, he came back in the game, and then you had Anton Harrison, Wanye Morris, you name it. Oklahoma had tons of injuries, throughout the game, but didn't play well defensively. It got from bad last week to worse this week. When you look at TCU, almost had 700 yards of total offense, 307 through the air, 361 on the ground. And again, and this team quit. Again, it's something we hoped. I mean, we saw from time to time under Riley, something that we would hope that would change under the new regime. Didn't expect miracles overnight, obviously, but at the same time, you expected this team to play with a lot more heart, to play with a lot more physicality, to play tough, play hard all the time. And you didn't really see that really at all in this game on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that's the most disappointing part of it. Davis Bevel is not ready to be a quarterback at this level. I mean, keep in mind, this guy was a third teamer at Pittsburgh last year. So to expect him to come in and be the guy that's ready, but Oklahoma doesn't really have anyone else that's ready. That's why they went and got him, and that's when they got General Booty as well. So